Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and I present to you Daily Motor's 2025 Car of the Year, the Ford F-150. Now I hemmed and hawed about this for a while, and that's part of the reason why this Car of the Year video isn't coming out until late February of 2026. But despite it being sort of a silly little nondescript award here on a small YouTube channel, I put serious thought and consideration into what car I consider to be the best of everything I drove over the last year. And for 2024, the car of the year was the Hyundai Santa Fe. It was something that I was incredibly impressed by the interior, the driving, the cost, the powertrains, and the way it complemented your lifestyle. And all of that applies to the F-150. The current Daily Motor standings at the end of 2025 had F-150, Hyundai Santa Fe, and then I think Honda Passport was third. Although I'd have to double check on that. I don't actually have signal where we are right now. We are out doing some off-road driving in this and a few other fun vehicles and side-by-sides back at camp. But all of that merit extended to the F-150 better than any other vehicle I drove this last year. And as I reflected upon it more and more, the times that I had in the F-150, whether just driving around at home or going out on adventures, were all complemented so nicely by the truck. And it wasn't just one version of the F-150. Throughout last year, I drove everything from a nearly base 2.7 liter that someone bought from a dealership for about $40,000, all the way up to now, just here at the beginning of 2026, this top tier F-150 Raptor R with the 5.2 liter supercharged V8. No other truck and no other vehicle on the market has such a wide breadth and depth of lineup and configuration, but yet excels at all of it so well. You can buy yourself an extended cab, 6.5 foot bed F-150 with the 2.7 liter and have a fantastic time and do work around the house or a job site or use it as a daily, get decent fuel economy. You could go rear wheel drive and just lock up the diff, put some good tires on it, and have yourself a great little truck. Or you could load up a Power Boost Lariat or King Ranch or something like that, go out and have an amazing vehicle for being at the track or being at the campsite or being at the workplace. Again, things like being able to power stuff off the generator in the back. Awesome that they provide that sort of, it's not particularly fuel efficient, but it's a little more fuel efficient and a little more versatile powertrain in that hybrid. Now, they even still had a diesel up to a few years ago. That was pretty darn cool, but people didn't really buy that and they ended up discontinuing it. So you do have to go to General Motors if you want a diesel. But other than that, Ford has you very well covered all the way from their fantastic base 2.7. The V6 is gone. The 3.3 V6 is gone. 2.7 is the base now, all the way up to this engine. So today we're going to reflect a bit on what makes the F-150 so good in general, and then take you for a little drive here in the F-150 Raptor R, and give kudos to Ford and the F-150 on being the best vehicle that I drove in 2025. But before we dive in, we got to give a shout out to the vehicle or video sponsor, LazFit. LazFit. I realize that maybe it is LazFit. But either way, they make floor mats as well as headlights and some other vehicle accessories. But I use LazFit mats for pretty much all of our vehicles that we test, but especially in situations like this, because look at how well they protect the inside of this truck. So much so that I even have the all-weather mats that come with the F-150 Raptor underneath, and you can see they only go to here. The LazFit mats come all the way out here, protect your carpet nicely. They go way, way up under the seat so that when people have their feet up there, it doesn't get the carpet dirty. It's all laser measured and super well cut out and fit into the truck. We see up here in the front, it is the same story. Fitting nicely, highlighting this Ford Performance door sill, latching into the floor, and then going up under the pedals. So if you do want to pick yourself up a set of LazFit mats or LazFit mats here for this vehicle or any other, check the link below. We can get you an 18% discount with the code DailyMotor. So big shout out to LazFit for supporting us. So let's take a little look around this truck, because even though this is practically a trophy truck in its capabilities and its performance, it still provides a lot of the core of what makes the F-150 so nice to use and live with. First off, you have this step, which sometimes we tease as the old man step, but when you're loading things in and out of this truck, it's super nice to have. In fact, we had the back of this truck filled up with firewood So be able to pop this open, climb up in, grab what you got in here, and then safely and easily climb back down. Very, very nice to have. Ford has really well engineered this over the years to be a useful, handy feature. Then we've got a wall style outlet right here. Got a little cubby over on the other side. I've got LED lights in the bed. This has the Ford spray-in bed liner as well. Doesn't have the power lift up tailgate, but I'm actually okay with that, just power drops. We've got a 7-pin and 4-pin trailer adapter right here, as well as a spot where you could put even more adapters. We towed with the F-150 Raptor R out here as well, and it worked fantastic. I've towed with other F-150s. And as I'll show you here in a minute, they've just got so many great towing features built right in. So obviously towing with 720 horsepower is a little bit of a cheater, but it's the other aspects of towing with the F-150 that, again, just make it such a nice truck to live with. Then coming into the back, the F-150's interior is a great blend of well thought out and comfortable and user-friendly. So look how well they optimized the doors. Tons of storage back here. You can flip up the seats. I know a lot of people who simply use their F-150s with the seats up most of the time because this is such a huge amount of space. In fact, if you're shorter than maybe about 5'7" or so, you could lay back here and just use this as a sleeping platform. I'm 5'10", and my feet would hang off a little bit. I could kind of sleep like this if I really needed to, but I know some people who drive their F-150 to the track and just sleep in the back. You got your stuff down here on the floor. You could even sleep on the floor, I guess, if you wanted to, or build a little bed platform. Tons of space back here in the crew cab F-150. You've got air vents blowing your passengers, 12-volt power outlet, 2 USB-Cs, and 400-watt wall-style outlet, heated seats, flip-down armrest, and a very comfortable, nice recline. It's a very good place to be back here for any sort of passenger. B&O Unleashed audio system, in my opinion, the best one on the market here in the full-size truck category. Maybe the Clips system is better in the Ram. We haven't had a chance to try it. Really not too many people are buying tungsten level Rams, so I don't see a ton of people getting that system as opposed to the Harman Kardon, which I'm not a big fan of. Super comfortable seats in all the F-150s. Like I said, all of this even applies to that STX that I tested earlier this year. That was pretty basic, no leather or anything, but it was still a great place to be inside for an extended period of time. One of my very few complaints with the F-150 is this silly shifter design. You can power it down into the center console and then flip this out and get a workstation or place to eat cheeseburgers. But you can't use that while the gear shift is up. However, if you get yourself an F-150 with a column shifter, which you still can do, then you can flip this down at any point if you pay for that. You can also still get a 6-seat configuration in the F-150 where this is just a bench seat that folds down. I like having that. Look at all these great physical controls. A lot of trucks now are getting rid of the physical controls and making you do everything in the screen. Not this top level F-150. Still got great physical controls for volume, track tuning, camera, traction control, all your climate controls. Please, Ford, when the time comes to redo and get a new generation of the F-150, please don't get rid of those. Please don't put them into a screen. We need these physical buttons. They're fantastic. They're also fantastic on the steering wheel. Everything great, easy to find, very easy functionality, and nice and satisfying to use. And then again, continuing throughout the cabin, great places to put things all around. No stupid screen like in the Ram. This is actually a useful padded rubberized bottom inside a cargo area right there, and we used that when we had an F-150 and took out camping, the power boost. My buddy put his phone and wallet up in there while we were driving. And then again, we're gonna go out here and rip around a little bit in this Raptor R, but I had an FX4 power boost that we took out camping last summer, and we went down some 2-track trail through the mountains up in the Sierra Nevadas. No problems whatsoever. That FX4 suspension actually does pretty decent for lower speed kind of maneuvering off-road. It's a great truck to be in. I personally would probably just get myself an FX4, maybe put a little bit larger tires on there if I really wanted the ability to kind of have a little extra traction, maybe a little extra clearance. But I'd be good to go with an FX4 and a slightly longer bed. Got a little climb action going here. So we are in 4 low and off-road drive mode. You can see miles coming down in the 4Runner. Let's crawl right up it here with the F-150. Do we have a crawl control? Let's see. Trail 1 pedal drive, use set for trail control. Cool. All right, so we can just let the truck do it itself here at different miles per hour increments. 1, 1.5, 2, probably goes up to about 3 or 4. It's 3.5. Climbs right up. Look at that. And then it also works for coming back down as well. So once we crest this, we got the camera nice and visible for us here. Can use a brake at any point. Scope it, and then I'm going to set this. Yeah, 2 miles per hour is good. Now as it's coming back down, the truck is going to modulate individual wheels, brakes, accelerator, everything to keep us nice and in control coming back down. It's like cruise control for off-roading. And at any point, press a little accelerator and continue on. And now in 4 low, we have different head-up display information as well. I've got my pitch meter, differential situation, roll angles, tachometer, speed. They really show you a lot. We're going to go back to neutral for high. Let's turn traction control off. And away we go. Yet another aspect of what makes the F-150 such a great truck to have around for lifestyle or truck things, the towing abilities. Now obviously we're here in the Raptor R, so it's got the most power of any F-150, so pulling is no problem whatsoever. But you get an increased towing capacity here with the Raptor R over the normal Raptor. I believe we're at 7,700 pounds for this one, normal Raptor 7,000. And if you configure a regular F-150 with max towing, you're getting well up over 10,000 pounds of maximum towing capabilities. But these days, it's less about how much you can tow and more about how well you can tow it. And as you see here, I'm merging over to the right lane. You get features like the blind spot camera coming on to show me all the way down the lane next to me as I merge to make sure I'm not going to hit somebody with the back of my trailer. You've got the fantastic towing mode that comes up here, adjusts the adaptive suspension here in the Raptor for towing, and also gives me information like what sort of fuel economy I've gotten since we went into tow mode, what my trailer brake is, my gain for the electronic trailer brakes here, and the pitch of the truck, so I would know if I was pitched up with too much weight there on the tongue. Not only that, when I get on the brakes, I get in the head-up display here the trailer brake gain, the current amount that's being pushed out. So right now, getting a little bit of trailer brake. If I were on the brakes a little bit more, I'd get even more coming. Look at that, we got a Raptor coming up in our rearview mirror as well. On top of that, nearly all the Fords these days that are equipped with towing capabilities have trailer sway control. Even our little Ford Maverick, when we were towing about 4,000 pounds with that across the country, that helped in the windy sections of the plains to keep us stable. Really appreciate that. And any of the trucks, F-150 here included. That's a Raptor with a topper. That is quite cool, Mr. Dude. Yeah, debadged as well, or de-stickered, I should say. You've also got the standard trailer features here that a lot of new trucks come with, but Ford does it very well. You've got a light check that cycles through all the different lights on your trailer. You've got a trailer checklist so you can make sure you've done all of your proper trailering things before you head out. This one doesn't have the tow mirrors on it, but even the stock F-150 mirrors work nice with this design that they've got. You can still see decently out to the back of my trailer. So if you're not fully on board with the idea of the F-150 being the best car that I drove in 2025, I get it. I understand. It's not for everybody. Not everybody needs a truck. If you want to kind of see more of my thoughts on the other cars that I drove throughout the year, I'm going to be doing a live stream where I talk about kind of what other merits there were in the other cars near the top, and also best cars in other categories, kind of superlatives, if you will. But this isn't the first time that we've given Car of the Year to a vehicle that's been out for a few years. We had the Volvo S60 a number of years ago that was by no means new. In fact, I ended up canceling it a few years afterward. But to me, it was the best car we drove that year. That was between me and Chris Brower. So just because the F-150 isn't new for 2025, if anything, to me, that's a little bit of a benefit of buying it, because you know more of the bugs have been worked out. You know it's a very established and tried and true product. I'm not a big fan of awarding Car of the Year to a vehicle that just hit the market, because what if it's been out for a few years and then all of a sudden they realize there's some huge fault to it and they're all blowing up? Well, I just went and encouraged a bunch of people to go out and buy one, so that's a bummer. But the F-150, I can genuinely say you can go out and buy just about any version. Now, I know some people are going to be like, oh, the 3.5s have issues, the 10-speed has issues, this, that, and the other. Okay, well, what truck doesn't have issues right now? Is there anything you can go out and buy and there isn't somebody on the internet to say, oh yeah, mine blew up at 35,000 miles and has been sitting at the dealer for the last 6 weeks? Just go out and buy what you like. And to me, I like the looks, the functionality, the powertrain, and the driving dynamics of every F-150 better than every other truck out there. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the F-150, check the link below. We've got coverage of just about every powertrain at this point, I'm pretty sure. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.